Hello and welcome, Reds. Thank you very much for tuning in for our instant post-match reaction show. It's me, Niall, and Nigel this evening. Obviously, the links to all the lads' socials are in the description, so please do head over to the upper tier. Let's go subscribers up, mate. Anyway, but yeah, really do appreciate it, gents. Niall, I'll get straight into it, mate. How are you? Hope you've had a good day, mate.
Yeah, not too bad at all, mate. Was looking forward, obviously, pre-season kicking off to see what happens and stuff like that. So it was kind of a dragged out day, really, to get to the game. Really, I was really looking forward to it and stuff like that. And I was feeling a little bit under the weather. I have a bit of a sore throat, in case you think my voice is a little bit off at the moment. But
I'm being shouting
yeah,
at the telly, have you?
not as much, not as much as I should have been. But now and ever, yeah. But now, good, all good. Good.
Yeah, all good. You're always welcome on the channel, mate. Thank you
Cheers,
for taking the time out this evening. And Nigel, obviously sporting the new Liverpool kit by all accounts, mate. So we're just saying before we come on air, mate. I like that colour. I don't know. You're not really the biggest fan, Nigel. Is it going to take a bit?
I thought it was going to be darker when I ordered it, but I got it yesterday, so I have it now. So why not?
Happy days. No, I like it. Now, are you a fan of that shirt or?
I have to be very careful with colours. I'm not built for those kind of colours.
Yeah,
they expose me. They expose my size a bit too much. I tend to go more for the black jerseys and the black training gear and stuff like that. No,
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same since lockdown. Bloody finished me with my beer belly. But chat, obviously, big up there, Michael as well. Big up Jamie, and obviously anyone that is watching on the repeat as well. Do always get your comments in. The lads on the panel will always get to you anyway. And please do head over, subscribe to all their social links as well. But what was a very good start. Now we'll get straight into it. 3 minutes into the game, obviously Darwin Núñez produced, I'd say, a little bit of brilliance. I think he almost... I was hoping that we didn't see this Niall this season. I want him to see a bit more greediness in between the 6-yard box, but it was a tad fortunate. But at the end of the day, they all count, really, mate. But I think all of us in our heads have probably come into this season hoping that Darwin can potentially get 30+ goals, no comps. But he started today. But just let's talk us through that goal, mate, in your opinion.
Yeah, it's just. It's the thing with Darwin, isn't it? Like, he'll snap the shot when you don't want him to, and when you want him to be greedy, he just won't be. And it's I was glad he got the goal, in fairness, because the one thing about him when he scores is he's so happy and so delighted, and it's like as if a weight's lifted off his back and stuff like that. And it's a big season for Darwin as well, with a lot of the changes that have happened. It's not going to be easy for him to, push that situation as much as he can and stuff like that. But the one thing I suppose we noticed today as well on the game as well is that there was a lot of players played in different positions. He seems to be kind of trying things again.
Yeah.
But for Darwin, that first goal, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he should have buried it first time. He shouldn't be going to square that through a peg hole, really trying to get at the Salah. The opportunity's there. Maybe take a little bit of responsibility at those key times. But again, first game back pre-season, you know what I mean? We're not going to be too over the top critical, really. We've a few points, but we'll go easy on them. They get a pass today.
Yeah, give it a couple of weeks, mate, when we're all playing Chelsea and we're like, oh my god, damn, why have you laid that off, lad? Should have put that in the back of the net. Nigel, as Niall said, I'm hoping he's a bit more greedy going into the next couple of weeks anyway, even in pre-season. It's all down to confidence, really. But at the end of the day, he's been given the new number 9 shirt for Liverpool Football Club, added more weight to the expectations, really. But you come in for big money at any level, especially at Liverpool Football Club. You're expected to deliver, even in pre-season games or whatnot. But I'm hoping this builds on the momentum that we're hopefully going to be seeing in the next couple of weeks. Just adds to his tally and hopefully he gets a bit more greedy, mate.
Yeah, I was... When the ball came down to him, first of all, I thought offside. Then I thought, Darwin, put your foot through it.
Yeah.
Then I saw him passing the Salah. I said, Darwin, what are you doing? Then I got it back, and I saw, thank God for that. Basically.
Yeah, it was obviously playing through the middle, lads. Do you anticipate him to play through the middle this season, lads? Or do you anticipate him?
Yeah, that's what I want him to play. I want him to play in a set position. I said it a couple of weeks ago. I want him to play in a set position down the middle. It's supposedly his best position. and then he can switch out and over and back if he needs to. But yeah, I want to see him down the middle.
Yeah, no,
it has to be down the middle for me if he wants to have that real chance. To be honest with you, it's just the competition out on the left. I think is just too much if you want to see him, and I think that's where we really want to see him. I think once you get him between the sticks, I think he'll produce. I think anything outside of that is much more difficult for him. And he's there to score goals. That's what we want him to do. That's the purpose. He's. Just as you said, like him to be a little bit more greedy. But Nigel was right. I was sure it was offside as well. I was looking at the opposition player. He just stopped running. He absolutely just stopped and just let it ghost in there. Never followed in, never tried to add. And I was going, he must have flagged for this. He had to have flagged for it. And then I was going, he's celebrating with the little love heart thing and on. I was there going, what happened here? This lad's after goal. He's switching off. It was mad. Yeah, absolutely mad.
The lino must be a Scouser, mate, or something. You never know. An adopted German Scouser or whatnot. But big up there, chat as well. Make sure you are smashing that like button as well. Everyone massively does help out. Really appreciate everyone that did tune in and watch along. Obviously, Niall and obviously Nigel as well. And every single one of you bloody legends. Really appreciate it, lads. But big up there, Jamie. Big up, Michael. Hi, lads. Hendo Exit. What is your thoughts on the links to the record? We'll get to that at the end of the show, mate. Obviously, we'll just speak about the game first, then obviously we'll have our piece. I think me and the lads, us three, have done plenty of shows on the channel. Maybe just rewatch it, but we'll rehash it anyway because it's a lot more breaking news has come out with the last couple of hours anyway. Pick up their wigs, putting out an unpopular opinion. Maybe Diaz reminds me of Saint Maximum. Pace and a bit of trickery, but not much end products. For me, Jota is ahead of him. I'd agree, and that called him out on the stream. Obviously, Wiggs, you watch me, and the lads watch me. I was hoping he kind of slows down the game for me. Now, I don't know. Obviously, he's got an abundance of quality, but I'm hoping this isn't a reoccurring scenario where, as we've seen in pre-season, there was a clip on socials a couple of nights ago, where the ball's transitioned down the left-hand side, he cuts back, slows the game down, ball gets switched over to the right-hand side, and a quick transition between Trent and Szoboszlai, ball in, straight again from the right-hand side of the pitch, and it's an instant goal. Mate, what's your, is it an unpopular opinion from Wiggs, or are you kind of...
I don't think it's unpopular at all. I was talking in your live chat with Wiggs during the match and stuff like that. For me, I think he just hangs onto the ball too long. I think he wants to do too much. I think he wants to put a bit of flair out there and stuff like that. But I rarely see him go on the outside, which is what he kind of used to do, and then whip the ball in and stuff like that. Now he keeps on checking back in and so obvious. And I think a lot of the reason he's checking back in, he's getting crowded out and stuff like that, where he wants to pull the trigger with the right foot into the far corner, which is his thing, basically. But because he gets crowded out so much now, he's having to lay off the pass. And you can see when he lays off the pass, even he's nearly grinding his teeth and stuff like that. And that's a very good point down there. For me, at the moment, and based on what I'm seeing towards the back end of the season as well, for me, Jota over Diaz at the moment, absolutely as a starter. I thought Jota tonight was absolutely sensational. But like just that cushion header down and stuff like that. Whereas if you've seen in the past, he may have gone for it with a sort of, and you're not going to put that away. The keeper had saved that header because of his positioning. But the awareness to be able to cushion that down to Gakpo, and then Gakpo with a lovely turn to finish and stuff like that. But it was all about the cushion header. And then the goals he got himself are absolutely. I mean, I know we're going to go on to them. We're not going to skip ahead and stuff like that.
It's all right. Go for it, lads. Oh, God, doesn't really need.
No, but I was just going to say, because it brings McAllister into the conversation as well, and some of the conversations that were there. That pass he played through for that last one is like, that is, and he said it in commentary, that is Stevie G shades there, isn't it? And stuff like that. That was an exceptional pass. Now, look, we have to take into account the opposition, and you can only play against what you're out against. And in fairness, they gave us a good run for our money as well, at 2-2 and stuff like that and all. But I think that was absolutely exceptional. But even he's come out. He's one who has come out prior to pre-season. I think we spoke about it, Jack, on another show, saying he's come out about how motivated he is and how disappointed he was in last season, and he wants to put the injuries behind him and hit the ground running and stuff like that. And he looks like a guy who's on a mission at the moment. And for me, he's definitely in. If you look at that match today, even Luis Diaz at the moment, I think should be probably. I know he's coming back off that long-term injury and stuff like that and all, but I think he'll be quite disappointed in his comeback so far between the last few games of the season and even springboarding into preseason. And again, it's only preseason, but for me, I just think he hangs on to the ball too much, and he allows people just to get a bit organised. And as you said, it kills that break and stuff like that now. But yeah, I just think I'm a big fan of Diogo Jota and stuff like that, and I just think if he can add that little bit of composure, like you seen in the first goal, he's going to be sensational. You know, he's going to have a big season this season, and you can see how fired up he is. He's one of the few players that came out before pre-season and actually commented on it and said, "I'm ready to go. I'm motivated. I'm putting behind me the disappointment of last season. I'm going to take all that, wrap it up, and motivate myself through that and stuff like that." That's exactly what you want to hear as a manager, you know?
Yeah, 100%, mate. And Nigel, not to dwell too much onto it in relation to the potential transfer of Diaz, but as Niles alluded to, spot on there. I'm hoping that does situation in the next couple of weeks doesn't rear its head in relation to his potential move. Because when you've got players from South America that have come from the background in which a lot of them have, in terms of working their way up, in terms of the vast amounts of money, it's turned the head of Jordan Henderson. Who's not to say that it doesn't potentially turn the head of, which is like Diaz, he's only human. Like when he offer like a vast 500, 600k a week, that is a situation that I'd hope to God that it doesn't happen, but it's a situation that I could potentially see in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely, I hope not.
Yeah. Could you see that unfolding potentially, mate? So
I don't think so. I don't think we'd entertain that at all. On Diaz, you get a lot of our creativity down the years, and our main plan was get the fullbacks behind their fullbacks and cut the ball back, kind of. Yes. And I'd love to see Luis Diaz being a little bit more explosive and direct. And he can do that, you know what I mean? That little 1-2 that Jota played today, see him doing that on the wing and getting him behind fullbacks. I think he can. I really think he can do that, or open himself up for a shot. Like Niall was saying, cutting inside and trying to curl one into the corner. Like he's got everything in his game to be able to do that. And maybe it's just a little bit of, I don't know, trepidation after the injury or something like that. But I think he'll come good. I don't think we'll entertain that move at all.
Yeah, 100%, right. Chat, make sure you do. One thing that I want you to do tonight, make sure you do head over, subscribe to Niall's channel. Links in there. I want him, before this season starts, I want him on a K. Hopefully by tonight anyway, but if you can do even better, then happy days. Great. Chat would be much appreciated. Let's get Niall up to a K. Bloody smashing it. 1,000 videos, mate. I love it. Keep on the great work, matey. I do appreciate it.
The grind is real.
The grind. It's never easy, mate. Just keep at it, mate. Keep at it. We spoke about Lucho. Quickly, bloody hell, Stindl. Lads, just a quick mention on that bloody goal from Stindl. Obviously, the former Gladbach midfielder anyway. Absolutely cannon that. For me, I don't think we'll see a better goal in all pre-season, in all honesty. I don't know, it was a lovely cut into it was a set piece anyway, but I'll tell you what, that's one to, I'd even half pressed to won't see a better goal all season. I'll tell you what, hopefully for Liverpool's point of view, we do see bigger goals anyway, but let's get to everyone's comments as well. And we'll go on to obviously the big second half performance anyway.
Just to say on that goal, brilliant volley, really good cross, brilliant volley. Like to see us a little bit more switched on though.
Reminds me a bit of the Real Madrid game. I don't know. I know it's a pre-season, but
he was the guy who was highlighted in the pre-match. Himself and the young lad from Bayern Munich, but he played for Mönchengladbach, didn't he? In 29 games, 15 goals. So we knew we knew he was the danger, and we switch off. He's the guy that we don't pick up. The one shining light and bit of talent that potentially is in the team, and we go, nah, he's grand. Let's go mark everyone else.
Yeah. Our lads are standing in a line on the edge of the box, 20 yards away, or 15 yards away, and you let the ball come the whole way across the box, and nobody's going out. Yeah. No. That's the issue I'd have. Unbelievably great volley. It was superb. Yeah. But a little bit of up there, and we won't concede that.
And then the peed off mush on Van Dijk for about 15 minutes after. Then, you know what I mean? I'm there going, you're supposed to be the captain. You're supposed to be
do something about it then. You know what I mean?
Deal with it.
Yeah. Typical centre half, but that's Niall, do you reckon that's one aspect that Jurgen Klopp would be banging his head against? It's those small margins, but as we've seen in recent seasons, small margins win your titles and win your Champions Leagues. Look at the Trent set piece, moment of brilliance within a matter of seconds, ball into the penalty area. It's all about what this preseason, as we've all watched every single Liverpool preseason over the years of supporting the Reds. Now, do you reckon that's one aspect that Jurgen Klopp will be coming away disappointed with, and hopefully that will be, as you've already alluded to, as the centre half, Virgil van Dijk himself wants to, how important clean sheets are, even in the small moments. But I think those small moments do build up to such a big momentum in the next weeks and potential months to come into the pre-season, mate.
Yeah, I think over the next few weeks it'll start to evolve and start to take shape and stuff like that. I wouldn't take too much out of tonight. It was basically like two different matches, to be honest. The little bit of concern, if you want to express a little bit of concern, was the second team that went out in the second half with the bunch of kids and stuff like that seemed to put on a better showing in terms of, if you look at flow of football and stuff like that and all. And Scanlon looks a little bit about it. Doak looks a little bit about it and stuff like that and all, and that's they're the things he'll take from that. Jurgen will just wash it away and go, look, it's the first game of preseason. Don't worry about it. We were out mountain biking the other day and pulling wheelies and all, we're only starting to begin the serious work and stuff like that and all. But it is a tad bit concerning, and you hear them in commentary. The narrative is there and all. If you were listening to the commentary on LFC and all, apparently that the second division in Germany is more competitive than the championship in England. This was the narrative that was being spun, and you're there going, lads, give it a rest here. It's 2-2. We're absolutely making a bit of a shambles of this till the last 10 minutes. This is way much harder work than it should be and stuff like that. But I honestly, bar a few little things and stuff like that, the goals and Jota and various things like that, there's very little you can really take out of those two halves, really, because it's like, McAllister looked decent in the way he played. He played in maybe 2 or 3 positions, really, and that's the kind of thing. There was no real kind of how would you say it? Yeah, there was no structure in terms of where you were supposed to play. It was like he was nearly being given a free role behind the front line to move around and stuff like that and all. And I don't think that would be the case. And I think I might have preferred if I had McAllister and Szoboszlai playing on the same half, maybe to get a look at what that tangent might look like, what it might look like and stuff like that. The lad Bradley, I think, did all right, but at times he was a little bit naive in positional sense. I think he's been studying this inversion of right backs, and I think he thought maybe that's what we wanted, but it wasn't what we wanted tonight and stuff like that. So there was a bit of gap left there. Joe Gomez again. I don't know what to say.
There was a little moment in that game. It was when he lost the ball, and I was like, "Oh my, are we Joey? Are we not learned?" But obviously we're only not that far away from Chelsea come at the end of the week. But it's all about, you look at great teams and it's about setting the precedent, setting the marker, whether that be a five-a-side, whether that be an FA Cup fixture, a Champions League game. It's all about setting your stall up really well for the next couple of weeks. And so you're able to get that firstly drilled in your brain and that rhythm and momentum. So then when it comes to playing Chelsea on the first week of the season, there's no beating around the bush really, and there's no looking at players looking like they're a bit out of depth really. But I don't know now.
One of the things sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nigel.
No, I just thought to say about when you're talking about structure. Anytime we had the ball, most of the time it came down our left-hand side in the second half anyway, through Tsimikas and young Scanlon. And we couldn't seem to be able to get the ball. Anytime Ben Doak got the ball, he was looking threatening. And we couldn't seem to get the ball out on the wide right and get Ben Doak running at their fullback. We had, it just kept going across. It was frustrating because he was beating your man every time and we couldn't get it down the right-hand side. Everything was cutting back over to the left all the time, especially at the start of the second half. Yeah. I found it very frustrating anyway, that Doak was destroying your man every time he got the ball and he just couldn't get it right.
Yeah, and I felt in the first half of the boy Clark as well, because a lot of our passing, instead of doing what we normally do, which is like Salah's out there on the right and he's wide open, and we're trying to thread a ball through the eye of a needle to get to Clark, who's surrounded by 3 players, regardless of the quality of what's around him. If you're crowded out by 3 players, you're gonna have a problem. And I think for Clark, I think he had a tough game. I think it'll be a learning experience for him. But to be honest with you, the players around him, I don't think they did him any favours either. They put him in a lot of very
good little player,
stuff like that.
Good little
He is
player.
a tidy little player.
Yeah.
You've seen some of that as well. But
Yeah.
you know, the obvious ball to retain possession and stuff like that. We gave up the ball very cheap at times in the half as well. When Salah was wide open and available and stuff like that, we're trying to slot the ball through 3 players to get to Clark to make something happen, and it's just. It's an awful lot to expect and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And it's difficult for those guys going in there as well, you know. Actually, I think if Clark had played in the second half, I think he would have had a much better game, to be honest.
The young lad who impressed me was Jarell Kwanzaa.
Yeah. I was going to say, Kwanzaa, he looks a bloody... Nigel, you watch a lot more under 21s than me, mate.
Yeah.
Probably a lot. You as well, Niall, than me.
Yeah.
Like, I've not seen a lot of this lad, but he looks a big physical specimen, really. And he looks...
I think he was captain of England for a while, underage. And he was on loan at Bristol Rovers last season and did quite well.
Yeah.
He looks a very composed player, good in the air, big and strong. I'd expect nearly him to be in a few squads this year, I think. I'd like to look at him a lot.
Yeah, he played left centre half today, didn't he? So that was that was very telling to me, mate. You know,
thought he was very good.
Yeah, because like we do lack that like depth. I don't know, chat or lads, you know if he's left-footed, but I'm guessing he's quite adept and very able to play down that left side of a defensive structure, mate. But yeah, and well, who wants to go with Ben Doak first? Like, who wants to? Niall, do you want to wax lyrical? I think we're all 3 of us good, and everyone in chat. Like, I know we only seen him for a little spell, like, but how promising is this, lads?
I just I love his. Do you know what it is? I love his balance. I love watching him move. I love the way the mechanics of his body works and stuff like that. I don't want to gas it up too much. You know, he's a young lad and stuff like that. I don't want to gas up too much, but and people might come at me in the comments here and stuff like that. But when he picks up the ball and he looks up and he knows what he wants to do, the ball sticks to his foot. The mechanics of his body, the way he moves, even that time where he dropped the shoulder, sent your man the wrong way, and cut back inside to put the ball across and all, you know. Dare I say, if Messi was doing that, everyone would be talking about it. But because it's Ben Doak, it's a different situation. But he has a great future. And I'd love to see him in and around the squad, training with the first team, going on away matches and away trips and getting a feel for it in games that are quite comfortable, bring him on. The one thing I love about Ben Doak, and it is, he'll go out there and he'll express himself, and he plays football with a kind of a freedom that we don't see. Like we were talking earlier about Luis Diaz. I think Luis Diaz sometimes plays football very shackled in his way, and very like he's tied down by it nearly to the point at times where it looks a little bit uncomfortable. When you look at Ben Doak plays, he plays with the freedom of his game and stuff like that. Like it's like he's not overly trying to impress the gaffer, that the gaffer knows pretty much how good he is. We spoke about it as well in the past with Curtis Jones. Sometimes it weighs a bit heavy on him because he's trying to impress the gaffer too much instead of just playing within his game. Yeah. Ben Doak's going to be a sensational player, and I just hope he gets the opportunity and stuff like that, you know, and I really do, you know, because he's just... And him being around those players more and all will only make him even better and improve even more, you know.
100%, nice. Nigel, Niall's absolutely spot on, really. In terms, like I haven't. I'd say, obviously, we bought Sterling from QPR, didn't we, as a young lad anyway? But in terms of, and we bought obviously the young lad Doak from Celtic, was 2 seasons ago, I think it was. But he looks the package, as Niall said. His build is, what is he, 5'8", 5'10", looks like quite
Pat Nevin.
Player, but
Pat Nevin.
He's filled. Yeah, he's
low center of gravity, goes at people. That's what you want, directness.
Yeah. How much do you reckon he can learn off Mohamed Salah? I'll tell you what, as Niall's alluded to before, picking up on the qualities within that squad. I think I spoke about it on the live stream watch along. I was like, potentially could we loan him out to a bottom team in the Premier League or like a high tier Premier League side. But for me, do you think it'd be more beneficial for, as Niall said, Liverpool to keep hold of him in the squad and learn from
Absolutely. Absolutely. What I think he can learn from Mo is how to work with a team. Like, he's used to getting the ball head down. The first time I ever saw Ben Doak, he came on for Celtic first team against Rangers. I think Celtic were winning 3-0 and he went around kicking Rangers players. This is about 3 seasons ago. He must have been only about 15. And I remember him coming on, and he tortured them. But what I think you can pick up from Mo is vision. You pick the head up when the ball is coming. Know where your next 1 or 2 passes are going to go. Using your mind, using your head instead of just running blindly sometimes. It helps out the team, and you can pick your head up and pick a pass before you actually know before the guy can get himself set. The pass is already gone. That's what he can learn mostly from Mo, I think, and the other lads in the team. We've sold a lot of experience, so we're going to need some people to start stepping up fairly quickly.
There's a conundrum going to happen in the next probably 12 months, 24 months. I think we've done pods in the past, lads, all 3 of us together, and we spoke about really the position in which Harvey Elliott's going to be playing in this Liverpool squad. We see him playing that midfield 3 and that right-hand side in a 4-3-3 over the last couple of seasons since he's come back from that injury. But I tell you what, both of them competing for that right-wing spot post Salah, if he retires at Liverpool or goes to Saudi Arabia anyway in the next couple of years. But it's a predicament that we'd love, and it only strives to help and benefit Liverpool in the long run, really, when you've got that type of quality, that type of caliber of player in your team. But let's get through all the comments as well. There's a lot of talk about DM and chat. We'll be doing plenty of shows this week anyway. I can understand your frustration, everyone. And we'll speak about, obviously, that at the back end of the show, chat. But big up there, Michael. Quickly rattle through all these. Our work on players has already been done in the background. We never announced till the last minute. I'd be shocked if we don't get another 2 mids in, preferably DMs as well. Andrew Sabuzlai, McAllister, Jota, and others impressed me today. Sabuzlai with the nutmeg and that Mac Gakpo link up was sublime, as the lads allude to. Spot on, Andrew. The Championship is the most competitive league. I'll tell you what, though, it is massive, in all honesty. Scouse brother, no worries, get you through in the chat. Thoughts in the chat. Big up there, Wolf. To be fair, it was the German team's 7th pre-season friendly. Oh, was it? Big stat there. Redbirds, I wasn't aware of that, mates. But I'll tell you what, they did look a lot more sharp. Hence why I think they made their subs on like the 60th, 70th minute mark on the watch long. So, yeah, you could understand where that was coming from. Gomez is still a worry for me. 100%. I think for all of us, really, just a training game. We need to pray for good health. All the players as well there, mates. That's what we don't want. We do not want to be picking up injuries. Lavia, Kimmich, for me, Wolf, I'd love it if we actually had that amount of money, but given the way our owners have acted in the transfer window in previous seasons, unless we had a quick whip round, and that's from every bloody red round the world anyway. I reckon the odds of winning the national lottery are better than FSG beating Chelsea in for money getting Saicedo. Yeah, bloody hell. Evening, Hannah, as well. Evening, everyone's smashing it. And make sure if Doak, there we go. Pick up there. We're speaking about Ben Doak. If Doak can work on finding that last man, he's going to be a scary right winger as well.
Do you know, Jack, do you know what that issue was actually? When Doak did, and he did get hold of the ball out there was no people flooding the box. The box was empty. So it wasn't actually Doak. It was actually the rest of the players actually not reading the game. It wasn't actually Doak. Doak was controlling and had the ball ready to go. And many times did he pick up the ball and have to hold it up waiting for people to arrive. Even that one that he put in that time, I think there was only one of our players in the box at that stage. So it's more the other players rather than Doak finding that man.
Him and a Jota, Niall, could you imagine the movements? And like Jota, as you alluded to before, mate, he's a predator in the box, isn't he? And I tell you what, they could really combine. You see it with certain players as well, don't you, lads, in terms of you understand, and that's what makes the great players so great, where Messi, when he was, 17, 18 breaking in, you could see he was like 50, 20 steps ahead, and that's something that you do watch Doak, and as you said, boys, before, he's a lot more ahead of the game than certain other players around him.
Even Jack, his protection of the ball, you know, the way he protects the ball and doesn't give it up easy and stuff like that. Yeah. You'll rarely see him running onto a ball where it runs out of play or he's messy with his footwork and stuff like that. He's very clever in the way he plays. It's quite elite but quite basic at the same time in terms of the way he plays and understands the game. I think he's sensational. You know, the way he keeps the ball at his feet. I look at him when he's running with the ball and dribbling with the ball as well. And you know, I'm going to big up the guy here. I get shades of Barnes on the ball where he used to keep the ball at his feet and stuff like that. He's a very, very impressive young talent, and I think we just need to nurture him. But bring him in around the squad. Don't hold him back and stuff like that. He's absolutely, you know, when you get excited about a player coming on.
Yeah.
And you know that he's going to light up. He's going to have those moments and light it up. And if we just flood the box with players when he picks up the ball, he'll pick out players. And we know what Jota's like, especially in the 6-yard box. He's absolutely lethal in those tight spaces and stuff like that. So very, very exciting times ahead for that boy.
Yeah, look at his smile for all of his mates as well. Like, just thinking about what potentially, and especially we spoke about the depth up front over the last couple of weeks, haven't we, lads? You got Nunes, he's banging in goals even more. Salah, Doak, Diaz, if he stays, and the other lads as well. But there's one fella, Nigel, I get to you, mate, because you probably know a bit more about him, especially than me anyway. What was his name? The young lad down the left-hand side. I'm going to quickly get to it.
Oh, the young lad from Birmingham.
Scannon, is it?
Yeah. Callum Scannon, signed him from Birmingham, full-back. Thought he did very well.
He was probably one of my favourite players that second half, mate. Yeah. So he wasn't scared, as we spoke about with Doak. Didn't really faze him, the experience of the German side. Anyway, he was up and down. Anyway, he's a left back, isn't he? Like, is he
left back? Yeah.
Full back? Yeah, but he was breaking into the box now.
He might have been better at left back than Simicast was. Yeah. The amount of space he left for their second goal, my God. I know it's only a pre-season friendly, but Jesus, one ball over the top, and the man has 25 acres to run into. No, I was impressed with Callum Scanlon. I thought he did very well for a lad who's playing. So a lad who's a full back. He got the ball and he ran at people. Good feet, nice pace, worked hard. So that's all you want.
I loved that moment where Jota picked up the ball and he shielded Jota's run through the players. That's a real mature kind of play that you like there as well. Costas as well. I think Costas thought we were playing with that back middle three instead of the back four and stuff like that. At one stage, even on commentary, they were saying, "Is Costas playing in centre back or what's going on here?" It was crazy. Costas, it's a big season for Costas as well. He had a poor season last season, poorer than what the rest of them had, even and stuff like that. At times he came in and. I know he comes in for Robbo and stuff like that, but I don't think the gaffer is sold on him because as soon as Robbo's fit, he's straight back in. So he can't hold down the position and stuff like that.
Would you say there's too much of a drop-off at the back? I would, lads, as well. I think we'll probably do a show on it in the next couple of weeks. But, like, he's not, as you said, no, he's not a centre-half. Like, and that's where you do look at Liverpool's squad depth for the next weeks. Everyone, of course, like you said, we're all speaking about the DM. But if Liverpool are going to go into that 3-box free formation, it's not ideal set of circumstances really to find yourself in going forward with.
Yeah, well, as Nigel said as well, if we have that problem with the overlapping runs with Diaz and people going in and around them, stuff like that, what Costas gives us is pretty good delivery into the box and stuff like that. But if that's not what he's doing, I'm not sure what else he gives us. You know what I mean? And I think that was bore out last season as well. At times he looked really, really lost, and I know the gaffer was on his back a few times as well, talking about his positional sense, even during games and stuff like that and all. And it's it's an interesting conundrum with what way he's going to go. If he goes with the back three and stuff like that, then what happens there with Robbo and with Costas and stuff like that? How does that unfold? And if we did happen to find this so-called war chest and maybe pursue Levi Colwell, I know we're probably not going to get him now with Fofana and stuff like that. But if we do pursue a left centre back, what happens to those two boys then? What's going to be the plan? Are they going to be there just not surplus to requirements, but maybe for different formations for different games and stuff like that? But certainly it won't be the norm, and then you have to start questioning that. Then is that what we look at and stuff? And his drop off, I think, has been absolutely huge, because at one stage, I think previously I was looking at him and I was thinking, he really is providing a bit of competition there for Robbo. But
last one,
yeah. But last season, when you say it, as soon as Robbo was fit again or back again, boom, straight back in, Costas hooked straight away. And it's not a good sign if you're not kind of really trying to. If you're only kind of making up the numbers and not really trying to make the position your own and own it. So Robbo has to work hard to get back in. Robbo was just slapping back in. And that was probably part of Robbo's problem last season as well, in his own drop-off, because he knew he was just going to come straight back in, because Costa's drop-off was huge. So
Costas was going around kicking people last year and getting a lot of yellow cards for no real reason. Well, his poor positional sense for a start, that was one reason. But he was getting caught between where he should be and
massive drop off, but you look real leggy as well. And when you get real leggy and you drop off and you're not at it, you'll start to kick guys. Some of that is out of frustration, not even the fact that you're just off it. It's just totally out of frustration that you can't get with the bones of the game. And this wasn't when we were playing the Madrids of this world or the PSGs or anything like that. This was when we were playing some of the lower teams in the Prem and stuff like that. He just seemed out of sorts. The amount of times that he was rushing back and pushing back and stuff like that. And you even see there was a training video the other day where Klopp was on his back again about getting back, wasn't he? Remember when he was bigging up McAllister for the goal he scored and Costas didn't get back and stuff like that? He was on his back, Costas giving him stick and all, and that's not a good sign normally that early in the pre-season,
Like he's a couple of yards short.
Yeah. And it certainly showed last season.
Oh, yeah.
And that is probably another show for another night as well, though, lads. And it goes to what we've all spoke about over the last 12 months, all of us and every Liverpool fan, the lack of preparation, really, in terms of we are changing formation. You've seen it with Pep Guardiola. He's so ruthless. And I get he has a war chest. But if you play it, look at Danilino. I think he signed him from Juventus, or they bought him anyway, and then they swapped him with Cancelo, and look what happened with there. Guardiola's a lot more ruthless than Klopp. I don't know, and people might go, no, we have got funds. But it's what this summer just gone, we let a lot of players go on a free. I think we supposedly had a bid from certain clubs for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain last summer. Just gone. Could have got about 5-10 million for him. We didn't. Let him go on a free. And for me, Costas, I think he's probably you look at the squad and the rotation, he's not a centre half. If Liverpool played a 4-3-3 formation, as you already alluded to, boys, but I think he's the one or two players on the fringes that potentially could free up funds for a DM or another much better centre half that is more capable of playing with the ball at the back.
Yeah. Well, do you remember a few years ago? No, I love Lucas and all that. Really great player for us. But after he got injured, we kept getting caught for a season or two with the same ball every time. When Lucas was playing the midfield and when Moreno was playing left back, we got caught with a ball down the middle through Lucas and a ball out to our left-hand side through Moreno. And we would get caught, say, could be 3 or 4 times per game with the same ball. And so is that coming down again? Because it happened to us down the right-hand side for a while last season as well. Brighton being the standout. But we need, I'd nearly rather play a 3-5 with wing backs rather than play a flat back 4 if Costas is going to be playing, because it possibly gives us a little bit more cover. I like stretching across.
Yeah, you look at the quality in players that Arsenal and even Man City. Apart from we've got the best one, the best inverted fullback in all world football in Trent. But when you look at obviously Costas, I don't think he's got that ability like a Zinchenko or a John Stones, even that technical ability with the ball at his feet. But I think we quickly get to Swat's comments. Big up Swat. Obviously, you found the channel when we did sign your captain, fantastic, Cody Gakpo. Anyway, where is it? 1 second, let's see. Big up there. There we go. Swat, Cody and Josh are showing up as usual. Was lovely to see. Obviously, I think he did mention, where is it? Apologies, chat. Did mention Bloody is absolutely bloody smashing, obvious. Trying to bloody find it's that many comments. I did have it highlighted up on the screen. Oh, yeah, there we go. Apologies, Macy. Give him to PSV, I think, in relation to Ben Doak. We still missed that Gakpo as well. It's an opportunity, mates. And obviously, I think you have just lost Xavi Simons. I think PSG recalled that loan, and he's gone to RB Leipzig. So I wouldn't be against this SWAT. So if you know anyone from PSV, put a word in. I'll tell you what, it'd be excellent experience in the Eredivisie. I really love your league from a technical point of view. It's really good at producing top talent anyway in European football. But big up, mates. Good to see you in the comments. If we don't get a solid DM, but right, we'll go straight into it. Nigel, obviously we got the news this evening, the final nail in the coffin in relation to Jordan Henderson going. Looks like we're getting about 12 plus million added on. You're not really going to get enough, as we said, plenty of occasions over the last couple of weeks for Jordan Henderson. But it's that situation that, hence why the chat tonight and when we've done podcasts, the concern really of Liverpool, especially going into what is a very pivotal season, considering the year in which we've just had, off the back of signing McAllister, Szoboszlai, tremendous footballing players that will be very beneficial for Liverpool this season. But I think for me, Nigel and chat, if Liverpool do go into this new season without a recognised out-and-out world-class number 6, I think we could be looking at another 6 months' time, get to January, and we're going, we've brought all these players in, but the one glaring space in the squad massively needed to be sorted, and it hasn't.
Yep. Well, I'm going back to a comment from a few minutes ago from my mate Michael, and he said that a lot of the work might have already been done, and I think he's right. I think we'll have these positions done. We knew this was coming with Henderson, so I'd say we're working undercover. This Brazilian guy that was Fluminense or whatever they're called. What was his name? Oh, the Brazilian. Brazilian guy.
Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah. He was been mentioned, but I think we'll sort this in the next few days. Next week or so anyway. I think there'll be at least 2 midfielders, maybe 3, maybe even 4. We've had a little chat before we came on there, Jack, and a friend of mine sent me a message there tonight. He said we've bought in 2 players, including the 4 lads out on loan. We've got rid of 11. That is a major turnover. It's crazy. So I think we need at least 3. I wouldn't mind 5. Let's put it that way. I think we need to fill a few positions. We've lost 11 players, lads. We've got 2 back. Now, if he's either going to call an awful lot of young lads into this squad, or some work has been done behind the scenes. Our friend Jorg he's going to be earning his money, I think, in the next few days.
Yeah. Well, it's 40 million for Fabinho, Niall. We've done pods this week, haven't we? All of us. That's a lot of money for a player that we've seen the best of. It's great business from a selling point of view, but it's all about what Liverpool do, as Nigel just alluded to there. Yes, the sheer volume, and a lot of people will say certain a couple of those 11 players really weren't fully first teamers. Like, in an ideal scenario, you would have had Naby being a great first teamer, Ox fully fit, fired, and all that, but the majority of them were either injured or, in all honesty, weren't good enough to get into the starting 11 of Liverpool. Hence why they've left the football club for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not as I know where Nigel's coming from and stuff like that. I'm not as consumed about numbers versus the numbers as I am about
quality for me.
The quality that we're bringing in. On so many podcasts I've spoken about, when you want to make a substitution or you're forced to make a substitution, the drop off in the quality is monumental, and that's really been our problem. I'm quite happy to tighten the numbers and bring in better quality and stuff like that. And I think Fabinho and Henderson going and 52 million coming in the door, I think that's a great bit of business, to be honest. I know people will talk about experience and stuff like that, but I keep on beating this drum the last week. I'm sure people have seen me on Twitter. We've got 4 international captains. We've got 2 under-21 championship winners. We've got a World Cup winner. We've got the best keeper in the world. 5 years. Big shout out to Alison today. 5 years with the club today as well. Ali, love it. You know, I don't get this whole leaning on and experience. And, you know, when people talk to me about things like that, I often say, where was that last year when 2 18-year-olds carried us for 15 games? Where was that last year? You know, was Stefan Bietic knocking on Jordan Henderson's door, leaning on him for those first 15 games when he was getting 7s and 8s and Jordan was dropping 3s and 4s? You know, like we have to contextualize a lot of this really, and really think about what our thinking is and stuff like that. I fully expect the club to go out and do business, and hopefully do the right business. If Lavia is the right business, I know he's young and stuff like that, and there's issues there. If we have concerns about that, we've just got 52 million in the door. The Lavia money was already there, but prior to these two guys going, we were talking to Lavia. So I hope that money doesn't go into where the Chouameni money suddenly just disappeared and didn't exist when we were in for him and stuff like that. Why don't we just go out and get a bit serious and let's spend this other 120, 130 million. Let's throw 80 million at Caicedo and see, does he want to partner up with his buddy McAllister again and stuff like that, and put him in there. He gives us a right back option, a DM option, box to box. He's an absolute destroyer. Let's get real about this. You know what I mean? What have we to do? Throw 30 million on top of Fabinho and Henderson to get Caicedo in the door. Prize him off Chelsea, who look like an absolute mess at the moment. This is the time to go in and absolutely do that. Lay down a marker. Imagine a midfield of McAllister, Caicedo, Szoboszlai, and still having options there like Thiago, Trent getting inverted, all that kind of thing. Imagine Trent and those guys all in there. Imagine trying to exist in that midfield and stuff like that. And there's a lot of business being done, loads of business being done today. All of a sudden, the transfer window has come alive today. If you see what's happened out there and stuff, City throwing 120 million at Vardy and all, and you know what I mean. We can't get caught up in the money anymore. And I know our owners are very conscious of that, and all that kind of thing. But I think if money's coming in like this, we need to start spending money. We can't be worrying about net spend and all that kind of thing and stuff. We're either in this or we're not in it. And this is where the market is. There's nothing we can do about it. That's the way it's gone. Go and test Brighton's resolve. We obviously have a good relationship with them. We just cut McAllister off them and stuff like that. Now, I wonder what Caicedo fancy teaming up with his old teammate again, coming in there, throw 80 million at them and test them, see what they say. Let's get serious about this. Why are we, this talk today, this check the Corey guy off Crystal Palace, and they want 80 million, 70, 80, 90 million for
ridiculous.
him.
You don't be paying that.
And I put out a tweet on Crystal Palace's page. Don't be standing at the phone, lads, because it's not going to ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's absolute nonsense. You know what I mean? The absolute rubbish that's coming out at times and stuff like that. We know that the market's inflated. We're going to have to pay the price. We're going to have to pay the piper. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get serious. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to do. And on top of Caicedo, we also need to bring in other players as well in the 30, 40, 50 million bracket as well. So we need to spend probably in the region of maybe another 150 million. If we're serious about things and we want to fix up. I'm not, as I said with Nigel, I'm not as concerned about the numbers as I am about the quality. I'd rather we brought in 3 more quality players than 5 or 6 and 4 of them are projects.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And we'll get through all these comments. Everyone's bloody apologies. I can't read them all out. Chatties are bloody smashing it this evening, but I'll show them on the stream as well. Everyone, I really apologise. These are all smashing it. But yes, it seems. But you're spot on there, Niall. I think all of us, all 3 of us, everyone in the chat as well. Liverpool, as we say, we can't look at City, but they're our closest rivals in terms of, well, they have been for the last 4 or 5 years. I know we had an off season, but I think all of us on the panel still feel Liverpool, if we can get it right, we're the only team that can very much still challenge Manchester City. Arsenal give it a go, but at the end of the day, they ran away at the end of the season. They weren't there to be counted anyway. I think it comes to Redbirds, speaking about DMs as well, a lot of people, we spoke about Ben Doak before in relation to SWAT and potential move to PSV. I'll tell you what is it? We go on Twitter 2 hours later, people just talking about him, thinking, well, I'll tell you what, that'd be exceptional if he could go there, but no DM finishing so bloody hell, Wolf. Be confident, mate. It's only first game of the season anyway. Most definitely Redbirds as well. Wigs 1 year in would be amazing for both parties. We're playing away for Champions League qualifying this year as well. Lost 11 and brought 2 in. This is actually quite worrying. SWAT here would be Doak's developments as well. Be interesting to see what York can actually do. A buyout or Dom isn't fixing his capabilities. Flexing his capabilities as well. My own force, 1 DM minimum, 1 in defence as well. Moyes will have no doubt. That's wherever he's going anyway. Move, sorry. Bloody hell, you can tell I've done about 3 streams today. Apologies. Can't even bloody read. half the time. Lavia, better.
Moyes is going to the mental hospital first because West Ham are interested in Harry Maguire. There you go.
He'll do well. He'll do well.
Hopefully he goes to Chelsea or Spurs. That'd be great.
Could you imagine Eric Dyer and Harry Maguire in an actual club team? Like, bloody hell.
Imagine he leaves and he starts balling out. Imagine the United fans. Imagine he starts going back to Leicester, Harry Maguire. Good Lord.
Oh, bloody hell. Gets the captaincy at Tottenham. Bloody hell, imagine that.
Eric Dyer and Romero. Lovely. Looking forward to it.
Proper park the bus, then, innit? There we go. Isn't this slow? I don't know. But, lads, I think, right, the final one, really, wanted to speak about. Is there any other names, lads, that we might that we haven't mentioned this evening that really took your fancy today? Obviously, we're going to be speaking about Virgil van Dijk, potential captain. Well, he is the captain now at the end of the show, mate. But anyone that we haven't really touched on that I think...
young James McConnell.
James McConnell? Go ahead, Nigel.
I thought he had a decent enough game. He's a good lad. Seen him playing a few games with the young lads during the season, and he's a capable player. A loan might do him some good now. A loan to like a championship team. I think he's a Scouts lad, and he might have been captain, I think, for a while of the under-18s or the under. I'm not sure which the either 18s or 23s, and he's a good player. I think a loan might do him some good. I don't think Ben Doak. I think Ben Doak sticking around with us and playing League Cup, possibly FA Cup and some Europa League would be much more beneficial for him. But lads like James McConnell, there's another good young lad gone out on loan today to Wigan, James Balagizi. Yeah, and he was on loan last season as well. And he's a big, tall guy in midfield, another decent player. He might not make it with us, but it's not for the want of him making an effort. He got injured near the end of last season when he was out on loan and did very well before that. So we've got some good young lads there. You know, that young Scanlon, maybe. A loan for him as well, maybe. You know, we don't know what's coming in the next couple of weeks. There'll have to be something coming in the coming weeks before the new season starts. So some of these young kids might be going out to championship clubs, and I think it'll give them a little bit of toughening up, maybe. Like when Celtic sent Kenny Dalglish out when he was 17 years old, 16, 17 years old, and it toughened him up.
Nigel loving all that loan money. Send them out on loan. We'll end up playing five-a-side football in the academy this season if we keep loaning all these lads out.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
Do it, Chelsea. We've been doing it for years.
Become that feeder club for the Saudi Pro League. Just keep them pushing them out there.
Yeah.
Did you see the post they put up today about wanting players for the third division? They're willing to pay players. This is like, I wouldn't say guys like us, but if you're any good at football,
we can make
they're offering $4,000 a week, a house and a car.
Because I still have my boots.
It's not bad. I tell you, dust them down, Nigel, and hit them up. Send them the CV.
Michael O'Connor, get a full tank of gas, Michael. We're going.
Yeah, I was going to say I could do a good 2 minutes or probably less, and then I get a stitch and probably roll over and feign injury, do what the Brazilians do.
But Jack, the $4,000 to be in the bank account, so it's not a problem. It's not a problem.
Last a week with me, mate. Especially on food, takeaways and everything. Agent SWAT is on the bias as well. Yeah, but the final one as well, chat. I wanted to mention was Virgil van Dijk, Captain Fantastic, Niall. Obviously Nigel's thoughts as well, chat. Let us know. Now he's as we're recording, probably might have, but it's almost common knowledge now. With Hendo out the door, Virgil van Dijk will be Captain Fantastic, leading Liverpool Football Club. How much of a big leader is he going to be in Liverpool's changing room? We've seen it with Holland, national captain. Do you think he's got the right capabilities to very much take over, or even better, Jordan Henderson? In the years to come.
I think to be honest, I think he'll struggle to top Jordan. I think Jordan has been a fantastic captain for us, and you know that has to be put out there. Absolute legend and stuff. I think with Virgil, I think he has to find that Virgil that was marshalling the defence and talking to the midfield and to Fabinho. I think a lot of that has been lost in the last 12, 18 months or whatever it is. He needs to get a bit more vocal out there and stuff like that. That there is other people out there in terms of captaincy and vice captaincy. Mo comes to mind and stuff like that. But again, Mo, is he just too nice a guy and stuff like that? He tends to do an awful lot of smiling and he doesn't have that kind of cutthroat about him on the pitch that you need. You know, Alisson, how would we feel about a keeper being captain?
Everyone has that debate, don't they? Like,
it's a huge debate to have and stuff like that. But I think Virgil, is the obvious choice. But I suppose the word of warning is the obvious choice may not always be the right choice, and that's the case. But I don't know who else you would give it to. I mean, obviously there was talk of Robbo as well, but I mean, we're going to have to see how this whole preseason formation pans out in terms of players and how we're going to play, and is there a place for those guys more regular enough, because we want our captain on the pitch. We don't want to be in a kind of a Maguire situation where our captain is on the bench, and I think that was a part of the problem with Hendo as well. Once he had the conversation with the gaffer before pre-season, it was probably laid out that you can't be sitting on the bench with the armband on your arm and stuff like that and all. And I think Virgil is the obvious choice, but I'd like to see that Virgil as well that was absolutely extremely vocal on the pitch like he used to be. I just think he's gone very quiet, and I think a lot of it is, I think he's been looking at a lot of the criticism that's been coming through, and I think he's kind of been questioning himself. I think Virgil van Dijk has had a number of evenings where he's had a lot of conversations with himself about himself and stuff like that, and I think we need that Virgil van Dijk to burst back again and be that guy. And you even seen it today. I don't think even today he was even vocal enough. But again, I'll chalk it down first game pre-season, stuff like that. But I want to see Virgil van Dijk absolutely tearing strips off people on the pitch and not just the opposition. I think conversations need to be had. And when people talk about experience and leadership and all that kind of stuff, that's what we lacked last season. There was an awful lot of bemused, looking quite dumb, effed on the pitch at things that happened, and a lot of finger pointing and a lot of, it wasn't me, it was you, and taking responsibility and all that kind of stuff. And I think there's no room for that. And if he's going to be the captain, he needs to rediscover that Virgil van Dijk maybe from about 18 months ago or whatever it is that's been missing.
100%, mate. Big up there, Shelley. Absolute legends. Hope you had a good evening. Alisson should be captain. He always focuses up front on the game, and he's a goal scorer as well. Let's not forget that. And an assister as well. Probably better than Kai Havertz in terms of creating. Oh, speaking of Kai, completely off topic. What did you see Kai Havertz on that American? Was it the All-Stars game? He couldn't hit a Barnes or a machine gun like the classic. Like you haven't seen it, chat. Type it into Twitter. It's good, some good entertainment anyway. Nigel, closing point, mate, on this evening. Obviously, now spot on. I'd like to see, and there's other potential candidates to be captain. We'll probably wake up tomorrow morning with an announcement to say, or especially this week. I think with Hendo, once we get common knowledge, but I think once we get a club statement by Liverpool, and then it'll probably include who the next captain is to take over Jordan Henderson. Nigel, but I did absolutely nails it the nail on the head. Virgil, if he is to take over the captaincy, he needs to use that and get back to what, for me, I know everyone speaks about Fabinho and other players in our team, but Virgil van Dijk, the levels in which he can reach, and we've seen, yes, he's had injuries, but I think if he can catapult his form back to the very top, leading Liverpool, captain and potentially, I think he could have a massive say going to next season, mate. Or is there any other shouts for you, Nigel, as well, or Chas?
No, there isn't. There aren't any other shouts. There are candidates, but there's only one option. Like, I just don't think he's been vice captain. Well, no, Millie was vice captain, but then Virgil. Like, there was a team vote a few years ago when you had Hendo, Millie, Virgil, and I think Genie was fourth. And I'm presuming that's going to happen again. But now we've lost two. Virgil is still there. It's a natural transition.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. He automatically, I think. And after that, then probably Robbo and Mo. And maybe Ali. I think that's, you've got to have your leaders, you know what I mean? And it's natural progression, these things. I don't think that, I would be massively, massively shocked if they gave it to anybody else other than the Virgil.
It's probably, lads, it's probably come about maybe 2.5 years too early, probably for Trent, isn't it? Because Trent, for me, would be the nailed on one if we were 2 years further down the line. Because if you look at Trent even last season, even when things breaks down and standing over the ball and taking control of situations and stuff like that, when he's laser focused and stuff like that, Trent is there as well. The conversations had and stuff like that. I'd love to see Trent as a future captain. I really.
Yeah. I think Trent will be the captain after Virgil.
Yeah, probably 2 years, Nigel. In about 2.5
3
years.
2-3 years. Yeah, I think so. I think that's a very, very obvious one there for us. I think
it's such a proud moment as well for everyone, wouldn't it, to have that guy as captain walking out, leading us out at Anfield. To be fantastic.
He's at the right profile as well, lads, isn't he? Like in terms of how old was Gerrard when he took over Hippie? Was he 23, 24? Similar age, one year around that time.
About 1999, 2000. He took over, I think. Gerrard Houllier, when Houllier came in. Yeah. Maybe, it would have been. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't have been. It went after 2001. He didn't lift any of them trophies in 2001. So it would have been after that.
Yeah.
2-3.
Squat's thrown a name into the hat. I think he did, as we were joking before. He
said, but to throw it out again.
Yeah, plot twist. Simica's getting pushed towards the captain. I think he might be going somewhere else. Other than that, mate.
A different club.
Bloody elbow. Who's down to be struggling? Quick, someone. Right, Nigel. Quick on the spot.
Sheffield United.
Sheffield United. Yeah.
Everton.
Yeah.
Everton are going down. There's great signings that they're making after helping them. They can be worse.
I think.
And Luton probably.
Yeah, lads, I'm a bit concerned about Wolves. Wolves are shipping a lot of talent out the door at the moment. Kilman, Podence, they've lost Ruben Neves. Neto's only back from that big injury and all that kind of stuff.
Priori gone as well.
Yeah, like I think Wolves need to be really, really careful as well. And I think Brighton have enough there with Evan Ferguson and guys like that now. But if they were to lose Caicedo as well, I know they've brought in a couple of new guys, but they're assuming that they're going to hit the ground running. They're big players to be taken out of a team as well, So there's a couple of teams there might have quite a transitional season. It mightn't look very much like what last season looked like. Means to say Brentford as well. They're not going to have Ivan Toney until probably the new year. That's going to be an interesting conundrum for them as well and stuff like that. So there's a couple of teams that are going to struggle and probably not hit the dizzy heights that they did.
Oh, mate. Niall, it's been an absolute pleasure. Nigel, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Niall, please do shout out your socials, please, mate. Obviously, the link to your channel is in the description chat, so please head over, subscribe this evening, get Niall to a K at least before the end of the season. Before the start of the season, sorry. Yeah,
appreciate you having me on, pal. Really enjoyed it. It's the Upper Tier Podcast. We're out there. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. And the audio shows are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. It's all the Upper Tier. And within the Upper Tier, of course, the Liverpool stuff is the Shankly Sessions, if you want to check it out on its playlist and stuff like that. Plenty of shows going out on a daily basis, shorts, shows, driving shows, carpool karaoke type of stuff, all sorts of stuff going out at the moment. Lots of fun content and all going out at the minute. And tomorrow night we're doing a show at 8 o'clock where we review all the new kits for the Premier League season. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a fun show.
I'll be tuning into that.
It's always good crack and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's it.
So the score chat 8 p.m. tomorrow on Niall's chat. I'll try my best to get as many people in there for you, mate, as well. Brilliant. Get a couple of new faces over. But chat, the link is in the comments there, so please do head over. If you're not subscribed, even SWAT and all the PSV faithful as well, make sure you do head over, subscribe to Niall's channel. Nigel, massive thank you for coming on as always, mate. Just shout out your Twitter handle, please, mate, and then
at Irish Red 11. That's
happy days. I was going to say, one day I'm going to wake up and you'll start the channel, mate, anyway. No, you keep on saying no, but you never know. You never know, mate.
I'm happy to be a guest, no problem.
Yeah, no, everyone's always welcome, mate. It's always good laugh for you too. Cheers, chat and panel, quality as always. Wouldn't be the channel without the lads, obviously, on the panel, the lads in the comments as well, ladies as well. You're absolute bloody legends. And what has been a very good start for Liverpool's pre-season has got underway. A big 4-2 win. We're winning the quad. Wait, well, not until we bring in a couple of DMs and another centre half at least. But everyone, have a lovely rest of your night. And lads on the panel, massive thank you for taking the time out for jumping on this evening. But Reds, it's going to be a very, hopefully, an exciting season if I can find the banner. But there we go, found it. Well, everyone, look after yourself. Have a lovely rest of your Wednesday night. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Ta-ra.
Cheers.